a mother with dreams and visions, but through pain and tears of untold story. But God is in the midst of her.
Hi, how are you? My wonderful viewer, is yet another wonderful time, Wings and Beauty, coming to you this wonderful Saturday all the way from Chuck Guest House. Remember, Chuck Guest House is a wonderful, wonderful restaurant, a Christian-founded, wonderful rooms. Make a date with us. You can also book for whatever function that you have. It's one of the best places to be. And so this wonderful Saturday, with me in the studio, your pastor, your loved one, Pastor Millicent Israel, I have a wonderful wing, a great daughter of Zion. And I don't want to mention her name. I want her to tell us who she is, where she comes from, and how she has experienced the wings to fly high and also to become beautiful as I can see her. Karibu sana, God bless you for coming.
Asante, Pastor.
Thank you so much.
This is a privilege and I'm humbled to be here today.
Awesome.
My name is Sally Agallo Kwenda. I'll introduce myself the way we used to do when we were in primary school.
Yes.
I am 51 years old.
Wow.
I know a lot of women never want to talk about their ages,
Yes.
but what God has taken me through, I'm very proud to be able to see each year. So each year I'm proud to say that this is my age.
You are 51.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I'll actually turn 51 in October. I'm a Shuja.
Wow.
Yes. So on my Shuja day, I'm 51 years old.
Nice. You don't look 51.
I thank God.
What do you eat?
I thank God. Anything. I enjoy life.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, tell us, who is Sally? How did you grow up? And let's first of all go through your background.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was born in a family of 10, being the last born.
Okay.
Yes, and I thank God that I was so loved. You know, the
One
way
mother.
you were pampered. One mother.
Okay.
You know, those years, people would really give back.
And especially that place you eat a lot of
I
fish.
know.
So strange this. Yeah.
With ugali, yes.
Yes.
Yes, so I can say I was privileged to be the last born in that family.
Yes.
It's called the Kwenda family. And I was taken through school like
How
any
many
other
girls to
child.
boys?
We were 4 girls. Sorry, 5 girls
Okay.
and 5 boys.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
But the ones that are alive now, we are only 4. We
You
lost some.
buried 6.
Yeah. Okay, some died when they were young. I didn't even see them, but the ones that I found alive. So we are 4 now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And we thank God.
So you went through the normal life of a
Yeah,
child.
the normal life. I went through school. I went through secondary school without any issues. I was a mama's girl and, yeah, a disciplined girl for that matter.
Awesome.
So then after college, growing up, I wanted to be a doctor, like my father was a doctor.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
But me and mathematics were not friends.
Okay.
I didn't know that for you to be a doctor, you have to get straight A's. So for me and maths, I think every time I went to the classroom, the blackboard was already rubbed. So, but I thank God that now people call me Daktari, as
Wow.
much as I'm not one.
As long as you are not there, yeah?
Yeah, so I call myself a QBE
Wow.
because I'm qualified by experience.
Awesome.
So what life has taken me through
Yes.
has made me to be naturally a doctor.
doctor.
And people just look at me like a doctor. And of course, I've helped so many people. So even as I'll continue, you'll see why I'm calling myself that.
Now, my question comes again. Are your parents still alive?
No, they're not.
Okay.
I have lost both of them. My father died when I was in Form 3, and my mother died not so long ago in 2011.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this is Sally. You have grown. You are mama's girl, gone to college, and things were nice, though you
Yes.
never became a doctor. What did you do in college?
So now, because I realized I was not very good in maths, I liked typing so much. So I took a full secretarial course. And Pastor, I can type with my eyes closed. And if I touch a wrong key,
You
I'll
look
tell.
a very good receptionist. I wanted to ask you. I mean, you have
So
that
I did
public,
HR,
whatever. Yeah.
yes, and yes, I did that full secretarial course, and I would do 120 words a minute.
Wow.
Yes.
And it's during typewriter, not during computer.
During typewriter.
Yes.
Now with computer, maybe I can do even better. That's what I'm telling you. I can type with my eyes closed, and if I
You
touch
know
a
where
wrong
every
key,
letter it is.
Exactly. So I thank God for that as well. And yeah, I got my first job because of that. And of course, I went through the normal life, like having a boyfriend, girlfriend. You know, the cha mama, cha baba we
Yes,
used to play when we were young.
Yeah.
But one time I met this guy. When I was was it 28 years, I met this guy who told me, I've had enough girlfriends. I want you to be my wife. And I was like, what? How do
Were
you
you
meet a
working?
man?
Were you working together, or how did you meet? In the
Okay,
village?
we were family friends, I would say.
Okay, okay.
And he also had lost his parents. But before, when the mother was very sick, before she died, she told me, you are the one who will take care of my home. And I didn't understand what that meant.
Your mother, now the mother of the
boy.
Yes.
So she told me, you take care of my home. And I was like, what do you mean? And I hadn't known the son.
Yes.
Although we were family friends, but the son was working in Mombasa, so I didn't meet him and I didn't know him.
Okay.
So I didn't know these words, what they meant. But she really liked me, and I was there for her when she was unwell.
Yes.
So then she passed on, and then now the son comes and tells me, Sally, I'm so thankful that you took care of my mom when she was unwell, and I want to give you a treat. So he calls me to Mombasa. And that's what he tells me, that I want to marry you. And I don't want you to as my girlfriend because
You have not courted, you have not done anything. Okay.
Like, he just met me, and the first thing he did is proposing to me.
Did you take it?
Not immediately, of course.
Okay.
Not immediately, of course.
Yeah.
You know the way we draw the Kenyan map, the African map, and what? And what did I hear? Am I dreaming?
Yeah.
But he told me that is what I mean. So then I came back to Nairobi, and I told my sister. Now I was living with my sister, and she told me, please don't marry in that home. There are issues, please don't. And I was like, but this guy has already proposed
and
to me.
And I'm 28, yeah.
And I'm ready, what am I waiting for? So I really pushed my family, and they said, okay, fine. So then they brought...
When your sister was telling you, don't get married to this family, they have issues, did you want to know what were the issues?
She actually went into details and told me what the issues were, and they even explained to me how the parents died and how they've lost other family members. And mostly it was because of drunkenness and the things people do when they get drunk. So
okay.
she told me it's not a very good family. But I insisted. I said, but people change. Maybe
so you expected to change him? Ama to change the entire clan?
Pastor, imagine, I expected him to change. At least him.
Not even the others?
You know, when you're in love, I don't know why we say love at first sight, but then nowadays we say love is blind.
Nowadays, love is not blind. You have to wear glasses. There is like a small thing that you can see. It's never
blind. We say love is
yes.
blind, but again, you fall in love at the first sight. So love and blindness and sight, I don't know, this is connected.
And you see there is sight.
Yeah, but so that happened. I pushed my family so much in there to give in being a last born there to show me the love. So they said, if you love him, then we'll help you to love him.
Okay.
So he was living in Mombasa. So I moved with him to Mombasa.
Okay. Now you have quit your job?
Yes, I was actually working for my sister.
Okay, okay.
My sister had an office that she was running, an insurance agency.
Okay.
So I go to Mombasa with my husband, and of course, my sister said, I have to get you a job in Mombasa. I had done insurance as well, secretarial and insurance. So
yes.
She got me a job in an insurance company in Mombasa. So we go to Mombasa, and I start working. Thank God I got pregnant in 1999 and got a baby, and in 2 months I got a lot of pressure from family. Please bring the baby to Nairobi. We can't all travel to Mombasa. Come to Nairobi with the baby. So I come to Nairobi with the baby. Unfortunately, the baby died.
When you came from Mombasa?
Yes, after 2 days.
Was the baby sick?
No.
Jesus.
No. You know, those days there were no diapers, so we could just use napkins.
Yes.
So I could wake up in the middle of the night to change. But this day, I felt something that was abnormal. So I checked, and the baby was not breathing. I hadn't experienced anything like that. Jesus. So, and in my body, I was having like labor pains. And I'm like, what? So I ran with the baby to my sister's room, and she tells me the baby's dead.
What?
And she tells me, please don't cry, because now it is almost 2 a.m. in the night. And she says, if you cry, we will not get help. We didn't have a car. So she said, just compose yourself so that we get a neighbor to help us. So we knock a neighbor's door, who then accepts to take us to the hospital.
So the neighbor took you to the hospital knowing that he's taking a sick child.
A sick child. He didn't really bother to check whether what. He just said, please, if that is the issue, you know, a neighbor waking you up at 2 a.m., it must be something serious. So we go to the hospital, and the baby is put in a coach. And then a doctor comes with a torch.
It is well.
And he asks, who's the mother of this baby? And my sister points at me. And I just found myself on the floor. I just went down. Because now he just covered the baby. And called the mortician. And the mortician came with a body bag.
Jesus.
And I held him and I told him, you can't do this to my baby. If you put him inside this thing, how is he going to breathe?
Now, Sally, you have come to visit in Nairobi. Where is your husband?
He's in Mombasa.
Will you call him?
That's it. And how do I explain to him what happened?
And the baby was not sick.
No.
My God.
So that happened, and yeah, my husband came. Of course, I'm a Luo, and in-laws, of course, said, you killed our baby. Luos don't just die. Something must happen.
Wow.
So I was in a lot of pain and asked God a lot of questions. I hadn't known the Lord at that time, and I was very bitter.
Yes, I wanted to ask you that.
I was very bitter with God, very bitter. And I had serious abscess on my breast because now...
The milk.
Yeah, I didn't think about it because I'm mourning, and I didn't think about the milk thing.
Yes.
So immediately after burying the baby, it took about 4 days. Now my breast was almost bursting. So I got abscess, which had to be rushed to theater for surgery.
What?
I was very bitter with God.
Yes.
But thankfully, I got pregnant almost immediately. And during this second pregnancy, I started...
The first baby was a
boy.
A boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say beautiful. Boy, but beautiful.
Wow.
He was a very handsome... I would say, I call him beautiful because you look at him, you looked more of a girl than a boy.
Okay.
Of course, after the father, my husband was also a very handsome man. So my baby dies and I get pregnant again. So during this second pregnancy, I started getting very sick. Like, there's no month I was not in the ward. At least once. Pneumonia, malaria, something. So at 7 months, I got a miscarriage. Another baby boy. And the baby was rescued and it came out so well and he was taken to the incubator.
Okay.
But Pastor, sadly, after 2 days, the baby passed on. Another second.
Again.
Again. And I asked God, why are you doing this to me? And
Now, during this time, Sally, have you come to love God? Have you come to know anything about God? Or
I was very bitter with God.
You just hear
I didn't
about
even
him. You never
believe
wanted
that
to know whether
he
he exists.
existed.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I was brought up in a Christian family, but that issue of salvation didn't really hit me.
Yes.
So I'm here, and my husband now started showing his true colors.
Wow.
He started doing stuff that I was being told that don't marry this person because of ABCD.
Jesus
so now
Christ.
all these were coming to, as in it was clear, the writing on the wall was so clear.
And we are saying this is less than 3 years in marriage.
Yes.
Wow.
And I looked at him and said, are you the one? I was being told these things about you, and he was not even talking to me. And he could even leave me there and say, what am I doing with you here? Let me go and get women who are vibrant and can do stuff. What? You are sick and dying here. So this one time I was very sick.
Now this baby has died.
The baby has died,
yes.
we buried again. And so now I got very sick.
Okay.
On and off hospital. And one time I was told, we've taken blood samples, come back for your results after 1 week.
Okay.
So I go to this hospital that is in Mombasa. So the lady looked at me and said, unaitwa nani? And I told her, and she said, okay, wewe uko na ukimwi.
Ha!
And she handed over a brown envelope. That day, those days, the HIV results were being given in a brown envelope. And it was like Corona now. The stigma for HIV in the 90s was like...
Sally, this is a hospital. No counseling, no nothing.
You know the way you queue in a government hospital? Next. So I was next and I was told, when your name? We uko na ukimwi.
Guy.
You have AIDS. And I looked at that envelope, and for me, that was a burial permit. Because those days, AIDS was equals death.
Yes, yes.
So I'm here, I have my burial permit, so I need to go and look for mourners, and then
we bury
and that's it.
Yes.
So the first mourner was going to be my husband.
Okay.
And Pastor, it was a Friday. And Friday happens to be a members' day, not for Kesha.
Yes.
My husband happened to be a member of the members' club. And he just came and asked me, sweetheart, so how did it go? I said, niko na ukimwi, the same way.
The same way you were told.
So I threw the envelope on the table and tell him the same things I was told. And he looked at me and looked at the envelope, went to the bathroom, changed, and left.
He never said a word.
He never said a word. So he went Friday, he came back on Monday morning, changed, and went back. So it was come, change, and go. Come, change, and go. So after 2 months, I told him, and Pastor, the devil is real.
He's
very real. And they say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yes.
It is indeed. And mine had all the tools.
He never needed to borrow.
And the devil worked on me.
Now, Sally, you are alone in the house. Your husband has deserted you. You have no baby that can give you hope. Like when you see a baby like this, you can feel hope.
And I am sick.
And
I have
you're
full-blown AIDS.
Guy.
Talk about opportunistic infections in HIV. I had all of them.
The TB.
I had tuberculosis. I had herpes zoster. I had, what is it called? There's one thing, there's another one called, okay, it's a rash that goes.
Yes,
oral
inatokanga
thrush.
maji, inakuwa kama kimaji.
Exactly.
Like
it's called herpes
burns.
zoster, yes.
Kai.
My hair was falling off. I'm proud that I can keep my rastas now. But that time I was sick, Pastor. I was very sick. So this man didn't see any need of being with me, and he left me there. And the devil told me, your kids are gone. What are you waiting for? This person who calls you sweetheart doesn't even want to look at you again. What are you waiting for? Go.
Jesus.
So I thought, the best thing is just, after all, I have my burial permit.
Yes.
So I started thinking of committing suicide. And I thought, should I take rat and rat, the drug that kills rats?
Yes.
And I thought, nitapewa maziwa and I'll be fine. Or I'll be given something. No, that won't kill me. Then I thought, we are living along the highway. Maybe I just go and I'm hit with a trailer and I'm gone.
This time you're still in Mombasa?
Yes, I'm in Mombasa.
Yes.
But I thought, a trailer may hit me and maybe I just get a
rescue, nikae hospitali.
Ama nikuwe amputated, ama
Yes.
niumize spine, and then I'm on a wheelchair for the
become
rest.
a cabbage
I don't
again.
want that. Then I remembered, I have phobia for water. Pastor, for me, water is maybe in a glass to drink.
You don't swim?
No way. If it's a lot for showering in a basin like
What?
this, I cannot take more than that. I have serious phobia for water and heights. So I'm here, and the devil is telling me, it is okay, you have your burial permit. Your kids are gone, follow them. So then I tell my husband, I've been telling you that I'll commit suicide, but today I will commit suicide. And he looked at me and said, when I met you, over 18 years, and in Kenya, anybody above 18 years can make a decision. That's the decision you have made. Go ahead.
Your husband?
Yes. So for me, that was like a rubber stamp on my burial permit. See, I have my burial permit, and someone is telling me it's okay.
He didn't
this
have
is
feelings.
the love of my heart.
My God.
And telling
who
me
has
it is
already
okay.
surrendered me to.
I said, okay. So when he left that day, I was so determined, and I said, I'll do it. As much as I was very sick, I said, I will do it. So I took a piece of paper, wrote a suicide note to my sister. As usual, as a woman,
Yes.
after coins kwa nyumba, I got some coins. I don't know where I got the strength from. I walked to the post office.
Now you remember
the letter.
during that time there was no mobile phone.
And if there were, they were very expensive.
Yes, zilikuwa za chosen few.
Yeah, so,
yes.
or you go to the booth and queue and call and...
Yeah, tulikuwa tunafanya
so
reverse calls.
I
Yes.
just wrote a letter and posted it.
Yes.
And then I didn't want to go with anything. So in Mombasa is very hot. So I just had sandals on my feet. I didn't carry a handbag. So I just walked with my letter and the coins to buy a stamp and post the letter. Fortunately, I had some coins, and there was this beggar in the
street.
Just at the entrance of the post office.
Yes.
So I threw the extra coins in that. Someone was telling me that beggar is the one who prayed for you.
I'm telling you.
So I threw these coins, and he says Asante, and I walked to the ferry. Now I didn't have any money to walk to take a matatu to the ferry.
Yes.
So I walked to the ferry, Likoni ferry.
Yes.
And now I'm just seeing darkness. Like I don't even know where I am. I'm just walking, but I don't know where I am. I don't even know what's going on. So suddenly I find myself in the ferry, but the ferry has gone on the other side. And then I come back to my senses and I'm like, oh,
I was supposed to die.
my target was to die. And I'm
Yes.
still here. The ferry has gone and it has already gone on the other side. No, I'm supposed to be dying. And the devil is telling me, what are you waiting for? Our agenda is that you go and follow your kids. So now I'm very sober. The ferry now is as loaded again. It's now coming back to this other side of Mombasa. And now I stand at the edge. You know, kuna ile kitu iko kama
Yes,
mlango. So
hii
I
yenye
stand at
inakaanga,
the edge.
yes.
And there, my target was 2. So because I fear water, there was this propeller that inapiga maji ndio ferry isonge.
Yes.
So I said the propeller will hit me, cut me into pieces, and throw me in the ocean. So I'll be dead. By the time I'm getting that water that I fear, I'll be gone. I was so targeted. So then I'm there, and the ferry goes. In the middle of the ocean, I dived.
Inside the ocean.
Yes, inside the ocean.
We are not talking about River Watiti. We are
Indian
talking
Ocean.
Indian Ocean.
Likoni ferry. Yes. I dived into that water, hoping to die.
And you don't know how to swim.
No. I have
You have
phobia.
water phobia.
Yes. And I'm here. And in my stupid mind, I knew very well that I would die.
My God.
But I thought I would sink, but I wasn't. I was floating on the water. And you know, in Mombasa, I'd lived in Mombasa for 6 years, and I'd seen people doing that, and no one was found. No one. Pastor, the other day you saw a woman who went with the car,
Yes,
and
with
many
the
other
car.
people, and they were never found.
No,
And
in fact, my question is, how can you float?
thank you. I also didn't understand. So
So you are at Likoni now, Indian Ocean, in the water, and the ferry
floating.
has...
Ferry is moving, but the
Kai.
coxswain saw me and stopped. And now, in Mombasa, when such a thing happens, you are a ghost. So they said, I started hearing voices. Majini ya Mombasa ndio hayo. Mwayaona hayo? Bona nruka huyu na azami? Majini haya? Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
And they were shouting. But some people were saying, no, see genie. And they were shouting. But now the ferry had stopped. And you know, there's sharks in that water.
Don't tell me.
So I was so sober, and I'm like, how come I didn't die? And how come this is happening? I also didn't understand. So I started fighting with the water to swallow me. So what I did, I started pushing the water with my hands.
So that...
To go in so that it's full, I'm heavy, and then I drown. None of that happened, Pastor.
My God.
And at some point, I wouldn't say that is death, because I don't know whether it is death. But after fighting, the people who saw me said I was there for like 10 minutes. And after doing all that drama, for me it was drama, I can say I became numb, and everything just went quiet. Like, you know the way you can
The
carry
water
a
is
baby.
freezing. Sally.
I'm not feeling anything. And I'm feeling like, you know the way you can hold a baby?
Yes.
And they sleep? I went into that state. Like, I felt so peaceful, and I was just like sleeping. So I don't know if that is what death is. That's why the people who go have never come back.
Yes.
Because it was very, very peaceful, Pastor, very. I felt so
At
nice.
the middle of Likoni,
Yes.
and you're peaceful.
Fighting with the water. I'm telling you, it was drama, Pastor. It was drama. So I'm here fighting with the water, and okay, I'm now in that peaceful state. And then I hear that still voice telling me, you are mine. I love you so much. What? But I am not taking you now. I want you to go and save my people. So the go beat became so heavy that I almost started running. But I came back to my senses and I was like, nishaitwa genie. If I run on this water, they will
Then
confirm.
they will confirm that mimi ni genie.
So I realized that was my Creator's voice, and it was very powerful, it was very clear, and I would feel that power, that it is God holding me.
Wow.
And it was a very nice moment, Pastor.
Wow.
And I told God, I realize you are my Creator, and it is you who's holding me and saving me from this water.
You experienced God at the middle of
I'm
suicide.
telling you. He
In
told
Indian
me,
Ocean.
I love you so much, and
My
I want you to go and save my people. And if you think you have problems, go. Now that I got born again, I realized that is Jeremiah 29:11 that
Yes.
says, I've good
I've got
plans,
good plans for you.
plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope and a future. So I was like, okay. So I really had that power to go. But now I'm realizing if I go, I was not even fearing that ocean. But I've been called a genie. If I do this, I telling God, God, please let it be like humanly normal for human
Yes,
beings to be. Let it be like the way human beings want to see it. Because
Yes.
if I do it the way you are telling me, they won't believe it.
Yes.
So God let me go. So then I came back to my normal senses, and now I could see the water, and I'm seeing this is the ocean. The phobia is back now. I am fearful. But when all this was happening, the rescuers had come. Some divers had come. You know, usually when there was a ship that was coming, so when a ship is coming, there's this small boat that escorts it.
Yes.
And of course, the sharks are there as well. I'm told. I didn't
Yes.
see
Yeah. They
any.
normally accompany the ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the divers were already there, so they overpowered me. And the ferry was there, so I was thrown back to the ferry, and I was very sober. But I didn't want to show that I was that sober, that I knew everything that was happening.
Yes.
I wanted it to look natural, like I was drowning, like all that had happened.
Yes.
So I'm thrown into the ferry, and I just close my eyes and lie there. And Pastor, what was another miracle was I only had water on this part of my body because I was lying on the water like this. Huku nyuma was dry, completely dry. The sandals were intact on my feet.
I wanted to ask you, ulipoteza viatu?
Nothing. Actually, after I was rescued and taken to the hospital, the doctor was asking, aliruka ama alikuwa anajaribu kuruka? And there's a lady who was standing next to me before I jumped into the water. So she came with me to the hospital and she was asking, she wanted to confirm, is this true? Because she also didn't believe.
Yes.
Because she was standing next to me on the ferry. So when I jumped into the water, she didn't believe it. So she came with me to the hospital to confirm if this is true or this is a ghost or
Yes.
what is happening.
Yes. Are you
So she told
really
the
human?
doctor, aliruka. I was standing next to her and she actually jumped into the water. Nobody believed that. And Pastor, you know, attempting suicide
I
is
wanted
like
to
murder.
go there. Now, why you not persecuted? As in, you wanted to kill Sally?
Yeah, it's a crime. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, you are not supposed to take away your life or the life of another person.
Yes.
So, of course, the police were called and I narrated my story the same way. So, as you say, there were no mobile phones that time, but there were these landlines.
Yes.
So when they were trying to like kind of resuscitate me and trying to put tubes inside my nose, I just pulled them and woke up. And I stood and sat on the bed and they were like, everybody moved back, like, what are we seeing? Because when you are drowning, you are unconscious, and then suddenly you are waking up.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't believe. I mean, it's not
So
that way. It doesn't
the genie thing is still
like
becoming a
manifesting,
reality.
like it is a reality to them.
What?
Everybody was so scared of me. But I said, don't fear. My name is Sally. This is what has happened. I was in the ocean, and that is why ABCD, that's why I did it. So who can we contact? So I gave them my husband's number, and he came. And he was asked, do you know that this woman? He said, yeah. Who is she? She's my wife. And why do you think she's here? And he said, was she trying to commit suicide? And he was asked, oh, so you knew she was trying to commit suicide and you never reported? So because of those words, like, oh, she wanted to commit suicide, like it was okay for him.
Yeah.
So because of how he talked, I wasn't arrested, thank God. So I narrated my story and then I started telling them my ordeal in the ocean. So when I talked that bit of God and whatever, they were like, oh, now we are cheesy. This is a mad woman. Of course, they brought in a psychiatrist who gave me some jabs and I slept for 2 days. And I woke up and my story was very consistent. And then he realized that I'm just depressed. So, and even the police were like, if you're living with such a man and you're going through all this, this woman has gone through all this pain.
Yes.
Actually, the OCS said I would do the same. If this is the kind of man I'm living with, I would do the same. So they said the decision is I shouldn't go back to my husband, but I should now be taken by someone else. So quickly, my sister was called. She came, took me, and we came back to Nairobi. that time, the only place people with ukimwi like me were taken was Mbagathi District Hospital.
I want to ask you, Sally, my God, had you told anybody in your family setup that you have tested positive?
I wasn't able to. And I also didn't want to scare them. Being a last born, they wouldn't even want to hear such a news. So I didn't
Yes.
want to scare them. But at the end of the day, when I was going to die, I said at least I write a letter so that
So
they know.
had the letter reached?
No, of
No.
course
So
not.
definitely
The
now,
letter reached
since your
later.
sister has been called, your sister has to know.
Yes, she had to know.
Kai.
She had to know. She didn't believe it. Actually, she had to borrow money to take a flight to Mombasa because she couldn't imagine going with the coast bus or what for all
Yes,
those hours.
yes.
She came very fast. Within an hour, she was in Mombasa and she was like, where? My baby, because I started living with my sister when I was 7 years old. So she was like a mother to me.
Okay,
So
okay.
even her kids knew that I'm the firstborn and then they follow me. So they couldn't believe what they were seeing. But anyway, it happened. So she took me so she could carry me to Mbagathi Hospital back. There was no treatment. The only thing people were being given was this drug called Septrin, which
Yes.
I was allergic to because I'm
Yes.
allergic to sulfur.
Yeah.
So that I couldn't take. So every day I could tell God, you said I go and save your people. I can't, God. With this, I don't have strength. I don't have energy.
I'm so
sick.
fragile.
So he renewed my strength each day. So every time I was in Mbagathi, I could just talk to the patients and tell them, this is what happened to me. I tried to commit suicide. God rescued me. And I believe he can rescue us even from this disease.
Now you are preaching to other sick
Because
people.
that is what God told me to do.
Wow.
So miraculously, I just gained my strength. And then there was this NGO that was working in that hospital. And slowly they had started now introducing the antiretrovirals. But slowly it was very expensive.
Yes.
I remember a dose was about 60,000.
Yes.
Which lasted a week.
Yes.
And it was very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I must thank one of my best friends. May her soul rest in peace. She died of cancer.
Oh my God.
This lady denied her kids school for a whole term to buy for me the ARVs.
What?
What a friend.
She's such a friend.
Yeah.
She was a friend.
She denied her kids school for 3 months. She told me, Sally, I will do anything
For you to
save-
leave.
For you to leave.
Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine such an offer?
It is.
Didn't come from my own family members. She didn't have money, but she said, my children will do homeschooling and I will pay for your medication for 3 months. So that is what happened. She could buy for me and then my sister could also buy. So it was just like that, on and off. I take, sometimes I don't take.
So during this time that you have come to Nairobi, will your husband look for you?
No, he didn't.
My God.
And of course, the relatives, including him, were saying that I've come to kill them because he refused to take a test, 1. 2, he was
So he
saying...
used to tell them like you are the one who came with the disease.
Yeah.
My
Because
God.
I'm not showing, he wasn't showing any signs, he was fine. But you know, my immunity went down because of
Of the pregnancies.
Of the pregnancies.
Yes.
So they didn't believe any of that, and yeah, so it was like, it was over between us. But at some point, he also got sick. Now, when I was going to Mbagathi Hospital, there's this NGO that listened to my story and they said, can we employ you to be talking to our patients?
Yes.
Pastor, that
Yes.
was another miracle.
Wow.
People are being sacked because they have AIDS. I was employed because I had AIDS. Yeah. So they said, can we employ you to do this for us? And I said, I don't have energy, but I'll try. So God renewed my strength.
Wow.
And by the time in 2003, when I was now starting the antiretrovirals, I'd actually started recovering miraculously.
Yes.
Because people were dying. Pastor, people were
I
dying.
know.
I remember at one time I was admitted in Mbagathi and we were sharing the bed and 2 people died on my side. And I thought, okay, I'm next. So, you know, you were just waiting. You
Yes.
also have tuberculosis and
Yes.
these ones are gone.
Yes.
So I just thought, but I told God, when we were in the ocean, we talked. And you told me
And
to
you
go and
told me
save
what
your
to
people.
do. Yes.
So am I following these people or form ni gani, like
So
the youth would
definitely
say?
that word that God spoke to you kept you going, as in
Yes.
it gave you hope every
Yes.
day.
So every day I could go and save my people. So every day, Pastor, from that day that I was in the ocean, every day, I purpose to speak to someone about God's love. And that's what I do for a living. Every day. I said I will talk to people and tell them there is God. and he's faithful. And he can heal you from whatever you're going through.
Wow.
So that's what I do. Every day he said, go and save my people. So my testimony is what I use to tell people that, especially when someone tells me they want to commit suicide, I tell them I chose the best method. Which method are you choosing?
Yes.
Mine was the best, the ocean. I didn't die, so which one is yours? And that alone has made many people change their mind, people who want to commit suicide. I'm sure even anyone watching me now is wondering, want to commit suicide because maybe I don't know what happened.
Things are not working with this COVID. My boyfriend has left me.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was in the ocean, I didn't die, so I don't know which one you are looking for. So then, at some point, so I'm employed with this NGO, a very good NGO. They were paying me very well. They put me in the best medical covers that I would imagine.
Wow.
And at some point, I get a phone call and I'm told, Sally, I'm so and so. Please, I want you to help this person. Remember, you have lived together as husband and wife, and he's now very sick. Please help him. So this is one of my relatives from my husband's side calling me. And I went home and told my sister, this is what the phone call I've received. And she was like, you want to go back to that man? After all this?
Yes.
I will disown you. So I was struggling. So I went back to bed. I went to sleep that night. And God spoke to me again and said, I told you to go and save my
Sally,
people.
You
This is
will
one
go.
of them. This is one of them.
I'm asking, will you go?
Pastor, yes.
Kai.
My sister said, if you do that, I will disown you. Remember, this man made you go to the ocean.
To commit you, and to die.
He infected you with the virus. And you want to go back there? So I struggled now between God and my family.
And my family.
God said, I told you to go and save my people.
And that is one of them.
This is one of them.
Kai.
And even at some point, my family thought this is a mad woman. They couldn't believe it. And I was talking to my friends, they said, you are a mad woman. How can you do such a thing? Someone pushing you to die, and you still go to help them? I said, but it's not me, it's God pushing me to do this.
Yes.
And I have to work for God.
My God.
I said, wewe utajipanga, do your thing.
So Sally, you're going to quit your job in Nairobi for you to go and help a man who told you you are already above 18, make the decision. You went to Mombasa.
No, now when he got sick, he also lost his job, so his relatives brought him to Nairobi.
Okay.
So he came to Nairobi.
Okay.
So I had to make that decision of going back to nurse him. And Pastor, it was tough. So I went back to my employer and told them, when I came, I didn't tell you that I was married, but I have a husband, and you need to also include him in the medical cover. They were so nice. They actually accepted and said, bring his documents. So he was put in the medical cover, he was taken to the best hospitals in Nairobi, and he got well. He got so well.
The sweet girl.
Yes, he got so well. And he started another episode of drama.
Guy.
Pastor, it became more than what I saw in Mombasa.
Jesus.
He did a lot of stuff, but the highlight of all the things that he did, one time, I could go to work and leave him food, and all he could do is to maybe warm in the microwave, eat, and
Yes.
enjoy himself. And give him pocket money, 200 shillings every day for whatever he wants to do. So there's this one time I was rushing out, so I gave him money to pay rent, because now he wasn't working and I had a good job, so I gave him money to pay rent. And I was working in the field because I was creating awareness on HIV,
Yes.
so I could work in the field. So this day we were not so busy, and our supervisor said, you can go home today, you've worked so hard. So I was released by around 3 o'clock to go home. So when I was approaching the house, we were living just in a small room, I could see the windows are closed. You know, during the day the windows are closed.
Yes.
How? So I approached the house and I could already feel there's something not right. So then I knocked the door, and the lady opens. My house. And the lady opens and says, Karibu. You are laughing. It's sad, but very funny. So she says,
Will you
Karibu, and she walks away. And I go in, and I find my husband naked on the bed. And I asked, sweetheart, what is happening? And he tells me, this woman is raping me. Yeah, it sounds funny, but
Serious.
it was traumatic
Devil is
for
such
me.
a bastard.
Yes, yes. That's why I told you the devil is real.
So what will you do, Sally?
I asked him, if you found me in this state, you put yourself in my shoe. Now it's me with,
Yes.
with the man telling you karibu.
Yes.
What would you do? He said, I would kill you. And I told him that is exactly what I feel like. But I don't want to rot in committee.
Yes.
So I'll just leave you to, I think it's me who has a problem. Live your life. Pastor, that is after I've struggled with him, put him in my medical cover, did everything for him, and he does
He
that.
has come back to his feet, on his feet.
And before that happened, he could go out and women would call me and abuse me, like, I want to go to bed with your husband, and he's asking me to call you. Who do you think you are?
Okay.
And all sorts of insults. And anyway, it was...
He could give your number to the girlfriends to call you.
In the middle of the night, to ask me what is so special about me. And then finally, now I find him red-handed.
Bwana yako alikuwa Mjaluo? We bless the Lord. Now, Kai.
Well, so I tried to vumilia so much. So I will go back home and my family tells me, so when ulisema unataka kurudi? You have our blessings. Enda tuishi na yeye. So I'm wondering, do I hire another? Do I get another house? Do I go back to him? And God tells me, I want you to save my people, and this is one of them.
Kai.
That voice comes back. By the way, at some point I told God, if that is what will hinder me from getting to heaven, it's okay.
I better stay.
I reached that point.
Wow.
And I told God, if that is what will hinder me from you bringing me to heaven, it's okay. I can't take it anymore. Because I have HIV. I need to protect myself. And this person is even
All
adding
over.
the virus
Yes,
again.
Yes.
God, seriously. I've lost my children and this is happening. But nilivumilia.
Okay.
It was tough though. So because now I'd known the Lord and we could go to church, I talked to a pastor who preached to him and he started changing a little bit. So he tried, he was being discipled, and slowly, it was like a heavy spirit. But
Yes.
So he went through deliverance, but still, it wasn't really happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided to ignore and serve the Lord. It wasn't easy, Pastor. It wasn't easy.
I know.
So I could still see women, all these things. So one time, there was a routine checkup for cervical cancer in the office. So every woman was supposed to be screened. This was now 2007, and I'm also screened. And I'm told the same way I was told uko na ukimwi, this doctor tells me, you have cervical cancer, stage 2. And because you have AIDS, we have to do what is called total hysterectomy. That is removal of your womb and everything.
Totally.
So that the cancer doesn't spread, because already you have low immunity.
Yes.
So I'm asking God,
Again.
Really? Why didn't the water swallow me? Why didn't the ocean swallow me? I'm asking myself so many things. This man is stressing me. I've lost my kids. I have AIDS, now cancer.
Now, let me ask you, is cervical cancer in any way connected with the sexual behavior? That is it
99%.
Can you tell somebody who is looking at us, watching at us? Wow.
Cervical cancer is sexually transmitted, and it is the men who carry it. So you carry it, a man has sex with a woman who has cervical cancer, they carry it and bring it to
the woman.
Yes.
99%.
It is sexually transmitted.
Sally, you have cervical cancer. You have HIV.
I've lost my kids.
You have lost your kids.
My man is here stressing
Your
me.
man is not a man anymore. So,
and God is telling me, save my people.
And God is, that is the contradiction of everything. So
I was not understanding what God wanted with me. And the devil is real, like he was telling Job, are you sure?
Yeah.
This man loves you.
Yeah. Why would he allow you?
Yeah.
What?
So the suicidal tendencies kept on coming. Like,
yes.
I just need to die. But God was telling me, I want you to save my people. So there's this, I'm really fighting a lot. And when you have this chronic condition, you shouldn't be stressed. So I was so stressed. I was looking like an old woman. And I have to go to work as well.
Will you go and tell your husband the same information?
Now, because it was urgent, we had to sign a consent with him for me to go through that surgery. Of course, it took me 2 months to make that decision. I went back to my employer and told them this is what has happened to me after the test. And they said, oh, we are sorry that this has happened, but the truth is action needs to be taken immediately because you have a compromised immune system. So you need to make a decision first.
Yes.
So they took me for a second opinion, third opinion. They're a very good employer. They had a psychologist, a psychiatrist, all those people, a psychologist to talk to me.
Yes.
So I accepted after 2 months because 3 different doctors gave me the same opinion, of course in a good way.
Yes.
Not just you're gonna cancer and you have to do this.
Yeah.
I was cancelled, but you know the first
impression itself.
It hit me
It
and
did,
it reminded me of those days uko na ukimwi. So
yes.
now again uko na cancer. So I'm telling this doctor, remember, I've told you my history. I've lost 2 kids and now you're telling me you're removing my womb. I said, but choose. You want to keep your womb, you'll still die. So now we are cancelled, of course, because it's a major surgery. So I had to sign a consent with my husband. So as a spouse, you sign it together. So we are called, we are cancelled. Both of us tell me, sweetheart, I'm sorry that this has to happen, but just accept so that you leave. You know, he was being cancelled, so he was changing.
Yes.
Kidogo, kidogo.
Yes.
So he really convinced me that it is okay to do the surgery. But Pastor, after the surgery, you know, from theater, you are still drowsy from the anesthesia, But I wake up, and you know, there are these people who, when they get some news, they can't stay with it. They want to run and sambaza it quickly.
Yes.
And so apparently when I was in the ward, when I was in theater, my husband called a family meeting with his relatives to tell them that now I cannot give him children, so they should get for
when you were in the when you were in the hospital.
Yes, he called a family meeting and said, "This woman, I don't think we can continue because she can't give me babies anymore. This is
the
what
womb
is
is
going to
gone."
happen." Yes.
My God.
So I want a young girl who can give me kids. So this woman was running to tell me, "Sally, this is what has happened. We've been called to do this," and I'm just from theater. So this lady had come before my husband came, and I asked my husband, "Sweetheart, there's so-and-so was here, and she told me that this is what you decided." I said, "Yeah." What do you
On
think?
the hospital bed. Ukufe kama unakufa.
Ni sawa tu, but mimi nataka watoto. And said, "Yes, nilisema, I called a meeting and I want a woman who can give me children, because you can't."
Amesahau ugonjwa yake. Anaona yako.
And we signed the consent together. Nikamwambia, wewe ndio uliniconvince ukaniambia it's okay to do this. Akasema, "Yeah, I did to save your life, but sasa si utajipanga tu."
Okay.
And that is what happened. So at that point, I got very bitter with God, and I said, "God, I don't think I will continue. I will save your people, but minus this one."
Yeah.
It became unbearable. I said, "God, humanly speaking, I've tried my best, and I can't take it anymore." But this time it is him who left, because now he wanted to get
the babies.
Yeah, because now people are telling him, akona ukimwi, akona cancer, unafanya mtu wa cancer atakufa.
Yes.
So he was cancelled, but he said, cancer hapana. So he just left. After all, I'm dying. So sa nini. I have AIDS, I have cancer.
And there is no
now.
reason of leaving because hata hakuna watoto. Yes.
So he left. So he left and went looking for babies. He left and looked and looked and looked, sadly, to his grave. He passed on in 2012.
He died?
He died. In the process. Because
in the process of looking for babies. Did he get babies?
No, he had to stop taking medication.
So that he can prove to these girls
that I am fine.
What? He infected a lot of people, Sally.
You can imagine, Pastor. A lot of people. And he was, I can say, beautiful. He was a man, yes, but aliumbwa akaumbika. And being a Luo and who's going to school.
Na akona kizungu.
Bas. Mistari, kila mwanamke anakubali.
Hey!
He must have killed many people.
My God.
I went for his burial, and I spoke. I was not put in the program. Because now being a Luo, umeua watoto wetu, umefanya nini?
So you are not married?
You are not, yes. Huyo tutamzika as a bachelor. So I was not in the, I was not in the program, but I just said I'll get an opportunity. So when the MC said, did this person have any friends? I lifted my hand very fast. Nikaitwa, I was given the microphone.
Utasema aje?
And I said, I lived with this man for 10 years. He was a friend, so I must talk. So I said here, people don't just die. But today I'm standing here to say that this man had AIDS na ndio imemuua. Mtu asiseme ati, and I apologized before, and I said, I'm going to say things here that will not please you, but I will say them. So I narrated our life with him, and people are looking at me that these legs have ukimwi. What? You are lying. They couldn't believe. I made sure I wore a miniskirt so that they see
Waone
that
miguu.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Wow.
But I'm living with HIV. And this man had it. And Pastor, there was a lady who alishtuka. Do you know,
Si
like,
utaua watu.
it
I
was
wanted to
so-
ask you that, Sally. Si utaua watu kwa mazishi, kwa sababu definitely na hii mistari kuna watu wamekuja kuzidikisha boyfriend.
Yeah, kuna mwanamke alishtuka, like, I could see the reaction. I said, alikuwa na ukimwi, so kama alipitia kwako, and as handsome as he was, hata vile ako maiti hivyo bado ni handsome, enda ukunywe dawa. It went silent. The silence was kama ile ya mochari.
Ile ya kuangusha shilingi.
Shindano,
Ehe.
na unasikia hiyo sauti.
Wow.
Because people don't talk like that in funerals. You know, funerals, watu wanasuja
Yeah,
quote,
pampa, alikuwa
he was a
mzuri,
nice person.
yes.
I said I'll call a spade because I've never known it to be a big spoon. And I told them this is what happened and he died of AIDS. People didn't believe. Nikapanda basi nikarudi Nairobi. So nikawacha mamndugu zangu na maswali huko. Huyu dadako anatudanganya. Amelipwa na nani kuja kutudanganya? He said, but aliongea, si mumfuate mumuulize. That is it. Mimi Mungu amenituma kuokoa watu wake. How can you
That was a
disclose
total
such a
good
thing?
crusade.
Yes, it was. It was. A lot of people followed me and I actually talked to a lot of people. Some we became friends after that.
Yes.
Because they said, uliokoa maisha yangu, nilienda nikapimwa, nikaanza dawa, uliokoa. Many people say that, even both men and women.
Wow.
So, to cut the long story short, tukazika, tukasahau.
Sasa you don't have a husband, you have HIV,
I'm a widow.
you are a widow,
Sina
widow without
watoto.
children, na
Who
without a
cannot
womb.
get children.
Yes.
And God is telling me, go and save my people. So I thank God I continue with my work. Again, now I was being monitored so closely after this. So the doctor told me that he can't do radiotherapy or chemotherapy because cancer has 3 types of treatment. There is chemotherapy, radio, or surgery.
Yes.
So he said because of my compromised immune system,
Yes.
we'll only do surgery. Pastor, I've gone to theater. I've gone to theater 13 times.
Guy,
For different procedures, some major, some minor.
13.
13 times. And now in 2010, I am told I have cancer again. Where? Colon. And the doctor tells me, hii colon ni refu. Inaweza toka hapa mpaka huko kwa gate. I only need the size of a ruler and a half. And you'll be fine. So I'm wondering, how many parts of my body will I lose?
My
Nimepoteza
God.
watoto, nimepoteza nini? Pastor, talking of loss, I've lost
Yes.
a lot of things.
Yes.
I've lost.
Because that's a spirit of losing. Now you have started losing parts of your body. Okay. So what will happen in the
emotionally,
colon?
physically, the colon is cut. And now it's cut. The cancer is still spreading. The following year, I'm told the cancer has now spread to the rectum. Pastor, the rectum and the anus are together.
Yes.
All this have to go.
It was removed.
And I have to eat, and digestion has to take place. So your next question would be, so how do you pass stool?
I want to ask you that.
And I eat
How do
anything.
you
Yes.
pass stool?
So one time I was in a lot of pain, and the doctor tells me, I'll give you a colostomy and you'll be fine. Pastor, what is a colostomy?
I want you to tell me.
You have no idea. So colostomy, okay, he just told me, I'll give you a colostomy. I'd gone to theater for different procedures many
Yes,
times.
yes.
So when he said that, you know, this medical jargon, I said, okay, maybe this is just one of those things or one procedure that will clear my pain.
Me, I'm thinking it's a tablet.
Oh, I thought so. I thought so
Okay.
too.
Okay.
So it was a major procedure, I didn't know. So we go to theater, and from theater, I wake up and I find a nurse standing next to me, and she's telling me, my dear, you need to remove that bag. And I'm like, bag? I thought when I went to theater, my bags were taken home. You know, when
Yes.
your things are taken home, you're only left with the things you need.
Yes.
What bag? My bag silienda nyumbani. That bag. And she kept on pointing, that bag. So I looked at my side where she was pointing, and I see a pinkish thing, big like this. It's the size of, bigger than a golf ball,
Yes.
and pinkish. And I look at it properly, and it's covered with some nylon thing. And I came to realize that that was my intestine that was hanging out.
I take
And
cake.
in my mind, I'm wondering, I thought we were from theater. How come my intestine is still hanging outside? How could the doctor do this? How could the surgeon do this? And I'm looking at that thing again, and I'm seeing the stool in that thing. And I'm telling the nurse, please help me. Do you know what the nurse told me? And it was in a very big hospital in this country. She told me, what you're asking me is like, let's go to the toilet and
Wipe your poo-poo.
and wipe me with this tissue.
Jesus.
I told her, it may sound that way, but take the example of a baby. I'm your baby. You just put diapers on me. You have to show me how to change it until when I grow, then I know how to do it myself. She looked at me and said, wewe utajipanga. And she walked away. Akaniwacha hapo, nijipange.
So what will you do, Sally?
And pastor, niliambiwa nijipange for 8 days.
With that substance.
In the ward. And now it had reached a point, because of I'd lived in the HIV field for some time, so I'd become an activist in that area.
My God.
I was so vocal. I thank God I'm among the people who pushed for ARVs to be free now in this country. Like if you test HIV positive today, there are ARVs for free. I'm one of those, and I'm
Go
proud
and
that
save my people.
we really fought.
You have really saved.
And now ARVs are for free, although people still don't have that information. Some people still go and buy. Some people are even fearing to take the test. So now, the surgeon comes every day, you know, the way they do their rounds. I tell him, Daktari, what is this? Naambiwa bag hapa. Don't worry, someone will come.
Is it not stinking? Is it stinking?
Don't even imagine.
Cry.
So I refused to eat because I didn't want to see these things.
Yes.
So now, one day I tell the doctor after day 8, Daktari, today if I am not sorted, I will walk on this corridor naked. You know me from the HIV world. I'm an activist. I will walk here naked, and you know what that means to the hospital. And she said, okay, this is not the Sally I smile with every day. She looks serious today. So a male nurse now was called to come and sort me out.
Okay.
So he came and told me, you know, you remember when you came?
Yes.
In a lot of pain?
Yes.
The doctor talked of colostomy.
Yes.
So colostomy meant he was going to divert your way of stool and make a hole on your side of the body to be your new passage of stool. So now, because your anus and the rectum has been removed, this is going to be your new anus. So he explained. And I was like, what? Why wasn't I told this before? He said, but the doctor said colostomy. What is colostomy? So he said, now for the rest of your life, this is how you will live.
At a what?
Pastor, that was 10 years ago. I'm living with that condition. Till now, as we are seated here with you. I wasn't prepared psychologically. I wasn't told how this bag is, where I will find it, how it's done. So
You
I
change
said,
it? Is it changed?
I do. It is changed.
Where do you buy?
Thank you.
How do you fix it?
A lot of stuff. So it was very tough. So I asked the nurse, are there other people living with this condition? Ama ni mimi tu Mungu amenionea. He said, wako wengi. I said, I'm not leaving this hospital
Until you show me.
until you show me
I
people,
want
not
that.
one person,
Yes.
people who have gone through the same.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, kuna watu. I said, I'm not leaving. I even told my employer was very cooperative. So I told them, I've been given some condition called colostomy here. I don't know how to manage it. Even my family was like, until she knows what to do, she's not coming home. So for 2 months, I was in the hospital. Fortunately, the nurse called 6 people, different people. And they came smartly dressed the way I am now, and they were okay, going on with their lives. I said, oh, okay, so people can live with this. Someone told me, Meshi now 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I'm like, oh, so there are people living with this condition. Okay. So I said, can we start a support group? From my experience with HIV now, can we start a support group for people who, because whatever trauma I've gone through, I wouldn't want another human
person to
being
go through.
I'll speak about this. I will encourage people, and I told Daktari, please, next time before you take someone to the
Can
theater,
you explain what
call
is
me.
this? Yes.
If you don't have time, Pastor, Doctor,
Daktari.
call me.
Yes.
I will explain. I will show them mine. I'll tell them there's a support group. After that, you'll come and join us. So that they go to theater confidently and coming back. Because, Pastor, I've seen people die of trauma. People die committing suicide because of this condition.
Now, sweetheart. Hey, mtu moja kwa Kikuyu tunasemaga modomwe. Yani, I want to ask, I don't know whether where is it? How do you, like, when you get like something like stomachache or something, where is it?
So now what happens, this area is opened. In theater, of course, this area is opened.
Yes.
And then they make a hole.
In your intestine?
Outside the body. And then they pull, you know intestine ni kama matumbo, mara. You pull it outside. Do you see the way we wash matumbo and do like this, ndio maji ingie ndani? So inatolewa hivyo nje, inashonelewa juu ya ngozi. It's sutured on top of the skin.
Matumbo?
Yes. So that is a hole. Matumbo, yes. That thing I was telling you is this intestine.
Okay, now, baby girl.
Sorry, this is heavy, but...
It's okay. It's okay. Please allow me. I want somebody there who has 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 noses, I don't know. Now, how is it outside? As in outside, you can feel. How do you wash?
Not feel, you see it. It's the intestine outside.
I don't want to see it. Now, my question is, how do you take a shower? How do you do your days-to-days life? Is it wetty? Is it...
I know. Those questions are very normal.
Yeah,
so it's the intestine,
because
so
there are people
wet.
who are going to, you know, as you are watching us from home, any question that you have, anything that you feel, you can reach Sally. She's available. She come at your level. Yes. Any question that you may have for her, because I know after this program, a lot of people are going to ask questions. How does it work? Is it wetty? Does it wet your dress? Do you feel uncomfortable in people? Does it smell?
So now you remember our pastor was telling you, in the ward I was being told, change that bag. So because it is the intestine, it is still live, it is producing mucus, and of course it is producing poo because it is my new anus. So I have to cover it with a special bag called a colostomy bag. So that bag is what I need to change after when it gets full, I take it out and put another.
You have to change it daily.
Because it's hanging outside.
You have
outside the body.
Yeah.
Daily, yes, depends also once or
how
twice.
You go to the toilet.
How much you eat. Because now it's not the normal way. So you eat, digestion takes place very fast, so it comes out and you have to change it. Pastor, one bag costs 1,000 shillings.
Hey,
yes.
I wanted to ask that.
How many Kenyans can afford? Personally, I depend on donations now because the NGO is working with Wound Up. And
can you kindly also speak out there? You.
I depend on donations.
Yes.
Yeah, for people, like now when I do such talks,
yes.
people support me to buy this bag.
Okay.
I have a support group that I'm running. So I've wrote proposals for people to give us donations. But you know, donations are not sustainable.
That's true.
You are a pastor.
Yes.
If I don't come to church, I don't give offerings. So you
that's
don't have
true.
a salary.
Yes.
So donations are not sustainable.
Yes.
So that's what happens. If I don't get, then I have to really watch how much I eat. Like, for example, I eat only 1 meal a day because if I eat
this body.
Ovio, yes.
This body.
If I eat ovio, then where do I get the bag? I need maybe 2 or 3 in a day. Because it fills, unatoa, unaweka ingine. Yeah. So that's the life I've lived for now 10 years. And that's why when I started, I said I'm 51 years old. I'm very proud because every day counts for me. It's a privilege to be alive. And that's why I've never tried to say how old I am.
Sweetie, that thing is, like you have said,
it's traumatic, I know.
It is. I'm feeling like my head is bursting. I really,
and many other people watching me.
I've known you, but I never expected that. Me, I knew tunasimama hapo kwa rectum, imetolewa, so they are going to sort their mess now. When that thing is here, putting in mind it's out, it is prone to infection, because now, okay, with a small knowledge that I have, how do you like when you go into the bathroom, it means it must be covered. You're prone to a lot of infection. How do you handle it? Have you gotten anything like can attract infection so far? You can let us know.
Yeah, you get infections. So it has to be kept very clean. And that's why I'm saying that special bag has to be there 24/7.
Even when you're going to the shower?
24/7. There's no time that is. It's like dressing, you know, huwezi tembea uchi.
I
So
know
the
there's
way you have
somebody.
to be covered, your body has to be covered. So
I know
that-
there's somebody want to ask this question. Like
Yes.
I want to ask.
Yes.
How do you sleep?
With it.
Ukilalia haiwezi burst. I know even you camera people, you're worried. I mean, I'm asking this question for you. When you sleep, does it mean now you're prone to sleeping on one side, but can you turn around? Because, okay, I'm speaking this on the perspective of a wing. When we have periods as women, sometimes we are cautious of how we sleep.
Yes.
I have seen
You are
girls
right.
mess, you know, even women they mess their bed
Yes,
sheets.
yes.
And sometimes during that period, you're very cautious. Wengine wanavaa pad tatu. I'm just talking this on perspective of every woman who is there.
Sasa Pastor,
How
imagine
do
you're
you-
talking of kuvaa pad tatu kunini.
Na
And
ni-
for me,
few days.
It's a few days,
Yes.
maximum 5 or
Yes.
a week ikienda sana.
Ehe.
And for me, it is forever.
So baby, how do you sleep?
Surprisingly, the grace of God is sufficient for me. Somehow, I just live my life. I even forget about it. It's only when I'm changing it, then okay, I've gotten used to it, but of course in the beginning, like I've told you, people have died, people have committed suicide because of that. One, lack of the bag, the cost. How do
And
you
I believe
sleep?
the devil was really pushing to this suicidal
Yes,
thing to
yes.
see it fulfilled.
Yes, yes.
Now, okay,
And bringing all these challenges. Bado hajachoka, bado tu analeta.
and
But
you're
I live
still
a
hanging
normal
on.
life. Okay, for me, like I would say, I can't have babies, but people are sexually active out there, and we have people in the group who have had babies with this condition. Like, your life goes on.
How do you carry a pregnancy with the intestines outside? I mean,
And this condition is for both men and women. It's not just
no,
women.
leave alone at a men, because there's no way their tummies will ever be
I
protrude.
don't know, but somehow, we thank God for the doctors, somehow watu wamezaa. Kumbuka, Pastor, there are kids who are born with unperforate anus.
Yes, yes.
So this is created on their body at that level when they are 0 age. So they grow up, unaniambia wataza?
Let me ask you this question as we are climaxing this testimony. I know,
Yes.
Sally, you'll come back here.
I will
a lot
come
of
back.
people would like. I'm looking forward whereby I'm going to engage you in a one-on-one show whereby people can ask you questions, and I believe my camera people will support that, whereby people can ask you questions,
Yes.
you know, these, and you're still loving God. Now, I was thinking, maybe somebody's question I'm asking, when the anus is removed, there is that hole. I mean, that's what I think.
Yes,
because
yes.
there is, how
You're right.
do they close
They
it
close it,
permanently?
wanashona.
So the only time you visit the toilet is when you susu, when you're susuling.
Or I'm going to change my bag, I have to do it in the toilet.
No, like sitting to.
Let me explain in a layman's language
Yes.
what happens.
Yes.
Let's take an example of the road, barabara.
Yes.
Like our Nairobi roads, some of them are they have potholes
Yes.
that are so bad.
Yes.
So sometimes you can find that the road is so bad that it has to be closed for repair. And then, because traffic has to continue, so they have to create another road for this traffic to continue flowing as they are sorting out the other road. But you can find that sometimes that road is so damaged that it is completely closed, and now this new road is used. So when we come back to this colostomy thing, when we eat the normal way, the digestion it happens, the body takes what it needs, and whatever comes
The waste.
out as waste.
Yes. Yes.
So now this way of the waste is destroyed completely. Like for my case, it was destroyed by cancer. So the whole road was closed, shut completely.
It was
Ikashonwa,
diverted on a.
diverted on this other side. So that's what I'm telling you. The intestine was ilibadilishwa ikaletwa hapa. So huko nyuma ikashonwa completely. So for me to pass stool, it has to come out through that intestine. So my intestine is shorter, which means digestion period is short.
Do you have a kind of diet that you take?
Imagine, no, Pastor, I just enjoy life.
You can even eat githeri,
Anything.
very hard
But
meals.
I'm very cautious what
The
I
portions.
eat because, yeah, like if I'm coming to a good interview like this, there are things I wouldn't eat. So I wouldn't advise people not to eat what I don't eat. But I enjoy everything, yes, but I'm very cautious. I know the food that gives me gas, what gives me
I
maybe
wanted
a
to
running
go there.
stomach.
Yes, I wanted
So
to go
those
there.
I can only eat when I'm at home. But again, it depends with people. like I'm a lure, but I don't eat fish. I'm allergic though. So there are things I would eat and someone else is comfortable with. Some
okay.
people,
So it is
it
diversified.
depends with your body again. What you react,
Now,
how your
is there
body
any
reacts.
moments that you have ever encountered infection, constipation? What
Yes.
did you do about it?
Yes, even embarrassing moments. I remember when I was not so used to the bag once, it fell. It got full. I didn't fix it properly, and I was walking into the church. At the door, the bag fell.
Na pupu.
Yes. Very embarrassing.
What did you do?
Thank God I was wearing trousers. So it gave way, and I held it before it went down. And I walked home in that state, holding it. Like
now because
5 kilometers away.
it's also going to soil the clothes.
Of course it did.
And it's going to
the
stink.
Smell.
Now, when you have constipation, I want to ask this question. I
Yes.
know it's an interview that has taken longer than expected, but we have to do this. Like when you eat food that have gas, and definitely what ushuta,
Yes.
how do you do it?
Inafura. Toka na hapo tu. Remember
So
that's the
haitoi
nuance.
sauti ile ya ku
Inatoa. That's another embarrassing thing, because if you're with people, then they're wondering, nini huyu tumbo ina. So that's why I have chosen to speak about my story, so that also to create awareness, so that ukiusikia next time mtu amekaa na wewe na kuna karufu, don't stigmatize them. It could be they're having a colostomy, maybe, because again, it's a condition that has a lot of stigma. Not a lot of people can speak about it.
Yes.
So wanaogopa kuongea. Like you're hearing this for the first time, I guess. And there are many
have
people
never
living with this condition. Wengi sana.
Jesus
Wengi sana.
Christ.
Wengi sana. Maybe even in your church, but
we don't know.
so I speak in churches, I speak in colleges, I speak in schools, just to create awareness and tell people. We formed a support group in that when I got my surgery in 2010, and we have over 300 members.
Wow.
And you're saying that you haven't heard this story.
I've never.
People are walking out here with this condition.
Now, Sally, because I'm going to bring you back
I'll
very
come
soon.
back, Pastor.
I'm going to bring you back very soon. You have said you live on donations.
Yes.
You live on well-wishers, like somebody committing themselves every month, like they give you 5,000, mtu anatuma yake, whatever they're going to get. Now, I want you to give a parting shot. This is your camera. I know it's very emotional. Me, you have drained me. It is, this interview, I feel like I just need to just bow down and tell God, because I have everything. I have everything. You are a woman in God's service. What do you do for God? And I want you to tell somebody there, because you are a woman, you are in kingdom service, there's something that you do for God. That's your camera from home. Watch, look at it, tell somebody something that you'd like to encourage them, that even you serve. You tell me you serve.
Yes,
you are
I
what?
am a member of Christ is the Answer Ministries, Valley Road, and I'm in the counseling ministry, and also we have a support group called New Hope Ministry.
Okay.
So that is why I serve, talking to people who have various conditions.
Okay.
HIV included, cancer, this colostomy thing I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I do that, and I do motivational talks. So when I talk, I'm given a token to keep me going.
Okay.
Even for at least to move from one point to another.
To another.
Yeah, and what I would like to say, to challenge people also, is that every day when we wake up, God has given us 24 hours.
Yes.
8 hours we are told to sleep so that our mind is clear and we are alert.
Yes.
8 hours we need to work. So the Lord says he will bless the work of our hands.
Yes.
So we need to work and put food on the table.
Yes.
What do we do with the other 8 hours? So that's what I'm challenging people. What I do with my 8 hours is to share my testimony. All this I'm talking about, telling people that there is a God in heaven who knows us by name, and he loves us, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made in his image, and he takes care of us. So for me, I have purpose to my 8 hours to put it in the service of God, to share my testimony that I've gone through all this, but God has held me, God has sustained me, and I'm here today. So what I would tell people is that keep hope alive, never lose hope, because
Wow.
God has good plans for all of us.
Wow. This is Wings and Beauty. And I normally tell people we are not only here to just listen to these powerful testimonies. We can give people wings to fly. Our sister here has said she has to live on that cloth to cover it so that she can have her daily. Imagine you just walk to a choya kanjo, you enter the toilet, you carry a tissue. Some don't even carry a tissue, they write on the wall with their poo-poo. This one has no that chance. She's relying on what we can do now. Sally, we normally, we have a pay bill number that is going to show down there, the pay bill number for Wings. We want to become a blessing to this great woman of God. But also, Sally, there are those people who may feel maybe using that pay bill number may be too much for them. Can you kindly share your number whereby they can reach you, whereby they can send their support? We have people who can just, after watching this show, they can just go to the M-Pesa and just, 1,000 will do, 2,000 will do, whatever little, even 100 bob. Sure. 10 people giving 100 bob, that's a one cloth, you know. Yes. It's going to take you a notch higher. I want you to give out your number, how people they can reach you for support, and also how people can, wale ambao hatatumia pay bill number, you can also go direct to Sally's account and just deposit whatever the Lord will enable you to take her to the next level. Please share your number.
So my number is 0725 23 4935. I repeat, 0725 23 4935.
Wow. As I close, do you do anything for yourself? Do you have any work? Do you work in an office whereby mtu anaweza sema, huyu anakaa ni mso sana, so tunampea kwa nini? Can you please elaborate your case further? Do you do, or this is what you do for a living?
So I'm not able to even afford an office space. So what I do, I share my story like this, speak to people, and you call me through that number and I'll come where you are. Either for counseling, to see a patient, to encourage them, or even to help you to join a support group for HIV or this condition we are calling colostomy.
Wow. So that's what you do for a living?
That's what I do. Every day I wake up to share my story.
Wow. Sally, I know in this field that you just got yourself by default. Have you met people who are saying HIV is not there?
Many, Pastor, many. Like after such an interview, yes, I give my number and some people will call, not for anything else, but they will tell me I'm lying, and they would want a relationship with me, meaning they would want to go to bed with me. Pastor, I'm beautiful, fearfully made.
Yes.
In God's image.
You're looking
if
awesome.
I choose today to kill men, how many do you think I would kill?
Wow.
Because I have friends who say they don't care, like they were given, so they also want to sambaza it. And the youth are saying that ukimwi tulisambaza ikaisha. Haiko, tuligawa, iliisha. Bado iko kweli. So you are lying. You are being paid to lie to us. And all sorts of things. So I would like to say that HIV is real. And people are still dying. And the time is coming that youth between 15 and 30 will not be existing because of HIV. Because one, they get HIV, they commit suicide, they refuse to take medication, yes, they are shy, they do all these sort of things. They get an opportunistic infection and they die. I volunteer sometimes in the hospitals and I see youth dying from AIDS because they can't take it. How do you even disclose that you have it to someone who wants to go to bed with you? So I would say that HIV is real, and even as I share my story, pengine mtu anasema si umeze tu dawa yako na unyamaze. I'm speaking because it's not written on my head, yes, on my forehead.
That everybody has to
go. So don't look at someone and say who you are now. It's like corona now. You can't know who has it and who doesn't have it. So just take care of yourself. I know they say tiba ni sisi. I would say tiba ni mimi. It is a personal responsibility to keep yourself safe from HIV.
Wow.
And I would like to address men, Pastor, before I finally conclude.
Yes.
I would tell men that news is news. Coming to what I said, cervical cancer is sexually transmitted. A man carries it from one woman to another woman. Kama Citizen ndio unapenda, ama KBC, ama KTN, just watch that one. Wacha watch hii station umefona. News ni news. Wacha kusoma Standard, Nation, nini, just read whatever that you have.
Wow.
Because that is what is happening. Men are all over. But it is us women as well. We should say no, and then they go back to their man, to their woman.
That's true.
Yeah, it's personal responsibility. So I've chosen to speak so that people know that usiangalie mtu. Siku hizi madawa zinafanya kazi, and we thank God that the medication is there and people are fine. So don't look at someone and say ako nayo ama hana. It is real and it is still killing people.
It is that moving it is wings and beauty, the Lord beautifying our lives and giving us a reason to live again. It has not been one of the most expected thing, and how it has ended. But I assure you, the God of Sally is still living. Him who has taken her from all those storms, he's faithful to complete the good works that he started. And now, I want to challenge somebody. This is not a road that has been blocked for it to be changed and be used later. This is a road that has been blocked forever. It means that she will live with that bag for the rest of her life. Remember, Paul said, the grace is sufficient. He had a thorn in the flesh. Could this be the thorn in the flesh of Sally? But Paul ministered, and many souls were converted. Sally, we love you. Our prayers are with you. That the souls that you're going to bring is going to be credited in your account. We'll do whatever we can do as a ministry, as wings, to support the great vision that God has put in you. God bless you even for coming. I remain your loved one, Pastor Millicent Israel. Make a date with us next Saturday. God bless you. Shalom.
She's a woman, life giver, a mother with dreams and visions, but through pain and tears of untold story. But God is in the midst of her. She's courageous, so strong. God has helped her through. She's a woman